Here we go. Another episode of the Denied Entry to USA show. A show that's for you and only you and no one else, I guess, except me. And I'm the host. So anyway, so it's Ken Scott, Senior U.S. Immigration Law Intelligence Analyst with www.usentry-waiver-services.com. And as you guys are well aware, we resolve all USA border crossing issues. So it doesn't matter if you had an issue involving carrying something like this or offenses on paper, so to speak, we can get you cleared. And you know what, guys? I've been inspired to do this video today after one of our clientele had some great news. So anyway, so long story short, you know that BS they try to push about the electronic filing? Well, it's exactly what it is, BS, because as you guys know, we're traditional. We do the traditional method. One of my guys today, he got cleared at the border, and his case took 3 weeks for them to process, but his was paper, and he was an ex-trafficker. So, I mean, yeah, we get ex-traffickers cleared all the time anyway. So ex-traffickers and turning around denied entry cases and all that, you know, waiver denied cases, yada, yada. I'm not going to bore you guys with all the stuff we do. So what I will tell you guys, though, some other great news I had today was the fact that we've discovered a way to become the #1 power in all of Canada in this industry. And me, Surrey manager, and one other administrator put our heads together, and we see how we can actually be the dominant party through all of Canada. And we looked at it and said, wow, it could actually work. In fact, we know it could work so well, I'm gonna have a drink to toast our future success. Good old Italian wine, Pinot Grigio. Anyway, so getting back to the point, so I started the process today. I had to reach in my pocket, pull out my stack, and now the stack is definitely lighter for today. But the money we're putting into this new project, we will be the #1 provider for services throughout all of Canada. I mean, I have mixed feelings about that because in some parts of the country, I have no interest in whatsoever. What the administrator does and one of the other managers, so that's okay, fine, or whatever. So that's probably going to take maybe 3 years totally. And it looks like we're going to be in a position where we're going to be basically buying out competitors, saying essentially, all right, well, we'll buy you out or we'll shut you down financially. You know, it's your choice. So that's what's coming down the pipeline. So for all the discount waiver companies out there, especially Batman Pardons and Waivers and the experts and all that stuff, you guys wait and see what's coming down the pipeline by, what's this year, 2021? I say 24, the latest 25. So it's coming like a freight train and it's going to work. And the funny thing is it's all legal. So we'll buy you guys out, and then basically you guys will be our satellite. You will work for us. So you guys will be my garden tools. Anyway, one thing we're gonna start doing is we discovered a lot of competitors don't have the resources or knowledge, level of experience, expertise that we have. So I'm gonna start making some videos showing some of the behind the scene resources that we have, just maybe like a bit of a snippet. So just a bit of a teaser. And one of the things is I told you guys that the director of the ARO has stated that waivers are being processed between 10 and 30 days right now. So the mellow fellow, you know who he is, the sweet mellow fellow, bounces around in his bonnet, his ballet slippers. He said, yeah, you don't have anything involving the ARO director stating it's 10 or 30 days. You don't go to any conferences, seminars, you're not even around these people, yada, yada. And I actually love it when he says that, because when he says that, I said, okay, sweet. He just gave me another marketing opportunity to prove him wrong. Now, what I'm going to play for you guys is part of the part of the audio clip of that seminar, and you guys can hear it and judge for yourself. So let me see. Let me figure out how to do this. Okay. Get ready, guys. Let me get ready here. Oh, let me have one more sip. Now, you're about to hear the director of the ARO at a seminar that we attended, and we got some good info. Okay, let's see here. All right, here we go. Got the good old trusty mic here. I'm going to put it right next to the good old speakers. And you guys can kind of try to pair it like that and see. All right. I don't know if I can stand it. I can stand it up. You know what? I'm going to just lower it. This should work. And anyway, here she is, Miss Fadia Pastalong, the director of the Admissibility Review Office for CBP.
And of course, the professional sports leagues.
And let you get a little bit of a break, but I promise to be back. I know that we're gonna have lots of NIE questions. Fadia, you are the director of the Admissibility Review Office. I've told you now many times how excited we are to have you. There's lots and lots of questions. So please, we really want to hear what's going on, especially about eSafe and biometrics. So thanks so much.
Thank you, Alexis. And thank you for the opportunity to be here today. As mentioned, my name is Fadia Pastalong, and I am the director of the Admissibility Review Office. Just for a quick overview, the ARO was established in 2006, and it's CBP's centralized adjudication component. It ensures a timely and consistent adjudication of non-immigrant applications,
exactly,
and permanent waivers of inadmissibility. So there are two tracks of filing within the ARO. The first being the consular group.
Yep,
the
B1, B2s.
The inadmissibility waiver requests that are submitted by the Department of State. So those requests that come through the Department of State are dependent on a favorable recommendation by the DOS to ARO. The second track of filing is the I-192 group, and they adjudicate applications for non-immigrants who are exempt visas and have a criminal background, but also for those who are inadmissible for immigration violations, and that's including national security concerns.
Exactly.
This group adjudicates
INA.
the Form 212 as well,
212,
for non-immigrant aliens who are seeking relief after deportation.
That's true. If you get deported,
You
that's
mentioned the
true.
eSafe program, so that is
The eSafe's garbage.
a program that was developed and launched as a pilot program first, and then it became a permanent program in October of 2019.
Dreadfully awful program, by the way.
It's an electronic system that modernizes the waiver application process by accepting those applications from a public-facing portal, and it's electronically transmitted to the ARO.
That's true. It's
Currently,
rubbish.
we're accepting both manual and electronic applications.
Thank you. Manual and electronic. Every
Deployed
port of entry.
The eSafe program to 31 ports across the northern border with Canada. And so just kind of, that is the quick overview. I've been with the ARO since June of 2020. Unfortunately, my time started during the pandemic. So it's given us a lot of time to look at different things that we can do for efficiency and continuing our modernization and expansion of the eSafe program. But it's also been a little challenging with the northern border closures, as I'm sure.
I'm gonna pause for a quick second, guys. I would like to periodically comment throughout this playback session, and I won't tell you guys why, but there's a reason why I'm doing that.
Most of the questions will come from that.
Definitely a good reason for sure.
Well, actually, the questions that we sent you in advance, I can, if you're good to go forward, we can start with some of these and then filter in the other ones. So, and this is like a really traditional liaison meeting almost, but we do have so much interest on this because it has been for some people a bit of a standstill. And now we do hear that biometrics are being taken in some places. It really depends if they're deemed essential or not. So, can you say what the current estimated processing times are for I-192?
Yes, please say it.
What's going on?
Sure. The processing times at the ARO are actually at historic lows across both tracks of filing. And a lot of that is due to the pandemic and the northern border closures. I will say, though, that the ARO, the office has not necessarily closed during this time. Every application that comes through our queue is reviewed and adjudicated, and it is just dependent on which ports of entry that they came through that are accepting those applications for essential travelers.
And current estimated processing times.
Come on, here we go. Here we go.
D3
Here we go.
waivers that are submitted at the consulate.
And that's the same. Those are also at an all-time low. We never stopped receiving applications from the Department of State. In fact, those have been pretty steady, and we've reviewed and adjudicated those accordingly. And all of those, as mentioned, have been done in just very efficient processing times due to the decreased volumes.
And imagine if a 212D3 waiver is sitting at the embassy, we would of course check in with the embassy. Could we check in with ARO for that, or it's best to go through the embassy?
If it's filed through the embassy, then yes, you would have to go through the embassy for that.
Exactly. Let me pause for a second here. And for those different pardon waiver companies who decide to try to rip off the people who are only PR and say, oh, here's a waiver, here's a waiver, here's a waiver, or file a waiver at the border. You just heard from the director of the ARO that that's done through the embassy. So you guys are foolish enough who are PR decide to hire Batman Pardons and Expert waiver companies. And you're PR. You guys deserve to get bent over the table, because I'm giving you info literally straight from the horse's mouth that has to be done through the embassy. So again, I hit play.
Must be at historic lows because just volume is down. But if an I-192 is sitting at ARO, and I believe there was an email address that we could use in the past. Is that still active? Is that something that we is the best way to contact the office if they're appropriately checking on status and timing?
We do have a mailbox for the attorneys and representatives
of
the applicants, and it is on our eSafe page, and that's always updated. So we have somebody who responds to that and checks that.
She's a really good director, by the way.
Okay,
I was very impressed by her.
The eSafe website indicates that fingerprints are not being collected in connection with waiver applications at ports of entries.
That's
However,
not true.
We do hear from some POEs that they are collecting biometrics for essential
PO means
travelers
port of entry, guys.
Is there a list of which ports are taking them? And is there guidance? Have they received?
Stop for a moment here. This is all brought to you by Ken Scott, Senior, U.S. Immigration Law Intelligence Analyst at www.usentry-waiverservices.com at 888-908-3841 or 604-332-9213.
Guidance on this? How do we best find out is from your perspective, to find out who is doing it for when it is deemed essential?
So the full list of eSafe designated POEs is on the eSafe website, and that includes a number of ports of entry. I mentioned there's 31, and they all are within the Boston, Buffalo, Detroit, and Seattle field offices.
USEntryWaiverServices.com.
So ARO is not really giving any sort of advisory opinion on the essential travel versus non-essential travel. Therefore, there is not an actual list that differentiates between which POEs are taking those travelers. It is my understanding that that decision lies within that field office and that port of entry.
Exactly.
They deem that traveler to be essential or non-essential.
Exactly.
Most likely based on, that particular area on the trade and kind of
that's
what
true.
They deem appropriate for an essential traveler. It's not something
100% true
that the ARO gives any sort of advisory opinion on.
So our members who have worked quite a bit with the northern border know that it's port specific. You go to them directly. That's always our best bet to find out from what the port operationally can handle.
And we have received those inquiries at the mailbox, and that's been our response is to reach out.
Let me see how much is left.
And I think you already did mention that you're still accepting paper I-192s.
Thank you. Thank you.
And let's see, if paper filing through the port remains an option, which we know it is, it's the same question.
Thank you,
which ports
guys.
Are collecting. So again, it's
Well, thank
it's
you,
a
Ms.
question
Pastor.
directly for the port. And
Pass
you know,
along.
through our liaison, we have a very robust
Yes,
CBP
exactly.
local liaison group, and our liaisons, we can get that information out to membership and try to find out.
Exactly.
We have advised the ports that e-safe applications and manual applications will continue to be accepted. So
Thank
every
you.
port of entry that is designated
Wait.
on the northern border should be collecting both.
Okay, guys, you heard it from the horse's mouth. At the ports of entry, they have to accept paper and it's stupid as electronic version. They have to. So when these discount waiver companies like Batman's Pardons and Experts waivers and all that BS, when they say stuff like, oh, it has to be electronic only, you heard it right from the horse's mouth that that's not even the case. So only USHWaiverServices.com, we bring you like the real dope of everything. So never mind the nonsense, but let's go on here because I'm waiting for her to get to the point where she says it's 10 to 30 days to process waiver applications. Only because since that, I can show that mellow fellow who said I didn't have any access to this info. Now he knows he can bite the big one, although he may enjoy that too much.
Right, Ramon.
Alexis, just to clarify, Director Castellon, you mentioned that applications are at an all-time low.
Yep, they are.
But our members want to have roughly an estimate of how long does it take to adjudicate.
Yes.
And I mean,
yes.
192.
Please, yes.
Current environment, it's, I would say, within 10 days.
Yes.
But I mean, our ceiling, what we try to make sure that we meet is under a 30-day time frame, but that's not been an issue at all to me.
That, guys, there you go. You guys can call us. We can sort you out. We're the only ones in the industry that provided you the straight truth, straight dope. All the other dippers who are talking about this, that, and saying, oh, you never know, you never know. You just heard from the director that it's 10 to 30 days. So, but that's not a guarantee, but that's what it is. So again, only USEntryWaiverServices.com can bring you all this great info.
Thank you. And given the fact that you accept both paper and electronic,
exactly.
The question comes up, do you have a preference?
Well, naturally, we're going to go with the electronic. We're trying to move away from the manual paper process. It also helps for both ends as far as efficiency.
100%.
So I know it sounds like a large
required.
Days to 30 days, and that all depends on the method of filing. So if you're filing with a paper application, you have to take into account, you know, the mailing and how long it takes to get to us. And our processes and then the mailing back. So it would probably be most beneficial to follow.
Of course, you're going to say that.
Thank you.
Because they want to push that stupid other method.
You're almost done with these pre-questions. Does CBP still require that in order to be admitted to the United States on an approved waiver, the non-immigrant classification in which the foreign national seeks admission must be listed on?
Oh, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead that. Let's see. Okay. Let's cut ahead for that for a special reason.
That in future engagement. Okay, we're gonna give you a little bit of a break.
There we go.
Frank.
That's Frank Russell. Oh, what happened?
Process. So people can choose not to submit their photograph, whether you're talking about biometric exit or even simplified arrival. It just may mean that you're subject to a slightly longer processing because the officer has to revert back.
Let me see if I can skip ahead some of this stuff, guys.
Manual comparison.
And I guess as a follow-up, yes. And for non-essential.
Any input on that, but it is not necessarily something that would come out of the admissibility review.
Let me back up here.
Of waiver applications.
Shit, wait.
Yeah, family unity, all case.
All right.
That might make you smile.
I forget her name, that bird.
I guess the other one to Director Pastelon, is there any
Let me turn it up some.
plan to start taking biometrics for non-essential travelers if there's a significant backlog of waiver applications?
wish I had a magic wand to be able to tell you yes or no, but that unfortunately does not come out of our office, so we don't really control. So I would defer to XD Davies if he has any input on that, but
XC Davies, he works in another field office, I think.
Review office.
I have to look at the other
Thank you.
recording.
I will say though, we do anticipate that, you know, the very first weeks the border reopens, that there will be a little bit of a backlog. And part of the efficiencies that we've put in place are to ensure that we've cross-trained our personnel so that if there's one particular unit
Yes.
that has about that, and we have really done our best to prepare for it as well.
Okay, skip that.
Renee,
Let's see
Pushing
here.
forward on trying to intercept.
No,
today's live.
Part of the MPP wind down, that is going to be electronic. This kind of all goes into an important indication of the person's admissibility. But hopefully we'll get to a point where people become so.
all right, guys. Anyway, so that's probably enough right there. But the bottom line is, you know, you guys get the point. So, like I said, when the sweet mellow fellow in his ballerina slippers and his knickers says that Ken Scott did not attend these seminars, Ken Scott does not have this info, Ken Scott this, Ken Scott that. Well, you guys heard it straight from the horse's mouth. And then here's the big kicker, the big kahuna. The actual video presentation we have recorded, and we show our actual clients. So when they come to see us at any of our, you know, BC or Vancouver, Surrey, or Burnaby locations, we can actually play this to them. They can actually see these speakers, so see the ARO director, and then see that, you know, she's answering the questions. Now, guys, this is only a small snippet of what we have access to. We've got access to the actual adjudication sheets that CBP uses in order to decide if a waiver is going to be approved or not. So basically, when you could bring your waiver case in, and we look at it, when you guys leave, we'll pull those sheets out and other materials and look at it and say, okay, you know what? We got to tweak it this way to make sure it fits in this guideline. And then once it does, boom, you're laughing. And guys, that's why we have a 99% success rate. But I really, really want to get that. I want to get to that 100% success rate. We got this one case pending. I honestly don't know if it's going to be approved. It's a sex-related crime. The problem is with this case is the guy went to a discount waiver company that bent him over the table and a lawyer who bent him over the table. So it's kind of like a salmon swimming upstream. So I don't know if it's going to pan out. I hope it does pan out because we can use it as a template for other sex crime type cases. We've gotten sex crime cases cleared before, but it's a lot easier if you guys come to us first. Then they're a lot easier to clear. Whether you, I don't know, touch a girl in the knee, whether you were fondling little boys in church, we can still turn that around if you guys come to us first. If you don't come to us first, it's a lot harder. So, I mean, you guys, it's up to you guys, you know, do what you do. So anyway, like I said, this is only a small snippet of what we have access to. We have access to this and more. We have all the tools that the big firms in Los Angeles use. And before I made this video, I spoke to one of the partners at the firms and just ensure that it was fine. And they expressed to me that it's fine as long as I don't show visual images on, you know, on YouTube. The wording is fine, they said, but I cannot show visual images. If I show visual images, I have to have the person in the office, and the person has to express an interest, quote unquote, to being a client. So if the person comes to our Surrey office and they come for a consultation, I'm allowed to show it then to them because then they're a potential client. But I can't put it out in main social media for Joe Blow to look at. So that's not allowed. But the wording, you know, the acoustics, that's fine. So you guys on here won't see the actual video unless you come to the actual our office or one of our offices, and then we can play it on the computer and then you can see it if you're, you know, a potential client. So guys, you know, like I said, sorry about that, but those are the rules. I mean, I'm not going to risk losing these contracts, you know, no way, shape, or form. But anyway, so the big thing is, like I said, the main reason why I made this video is so the mellow fellow in his ballerina slippers and his tighty whities that he wears. Just to make sure, just to show that when he says Ken doesn't have this, Ken doesn't have that. Oh, it might have been him. Yada, yada, yada. Then he's going to say, Ken's in England, Ken's this, Ken's that. Well, we've got locations all over the world, and I can be anywhere. I could be in Hanoi. I could be in Haiphong. Is it Haiphong? Yeah, Haiphong. With other clients there. I could be in Los Angeles. I could be anywhere. My guys / my boys, they run things in my absence. So anyway, I had to do like a little bit of boasting there. So, all right, guys, bottom line is, I'm about to sign off here. Ken Scott, Senior, Lord Ken Scott, Senior, U.S. Immigration Law Intelligence Analyst with www.usentrywaiverservices.com. And it's 888-908-3841 or 604-332-9213. And if you want to email, that's the word info and then at, then denied, DENIED, then the word entry, ENTRY, then TO, like Toronto. So TO, USA.com. Info at deniyedentrytousa.com. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook. We virtually own Facebook, Twitter. We actually virtually own social media, in all honesty. And soon we're going to have Instagram under control as well. So we're going to say, guys, we've got everything from counselors to drug testers, psychologists. They all work with us and more. We got No Dummy. We got AC Con. I mean, at the risk of tooting my own horn, we're the shit, other words. So, but in this business, you got to have your confidence, right? So, too bad the mellow fellow, the sweet little boy there in his little tighty whitey knickers doesn't have the confidence as well. So, anyway, guys, so I'll let you go here, and we're going to bring more info to you in the near future. So, it's Ken Scott signing off, and in the words of my Vulcan colleague, live long and prosper. Why you should be denied entry to that country. So, if you're denied entry to the United States for criminality, maybe, at a bar fight, or maybe you were accused of, I don't know, it's okay. You didn't do it. This is what you want to do. You may need a U.S. entry waiver. You may, or you may not. If you do, you want to use sendittoken.com. Sendittoken.com. And once you use sendittoken.com, we can get you cleared to enter the United States. Does not matter what your conviction is, whether it's for or
nothing is impossible.
Why? Because we're there. You need us.
Sendittoken.com. I gotta tell you, folks, wait till Hulk Hogan comes out here. The roof is gonna come off the Bell Center here in Montreal. As the anticipation builds, you can feel it. The legendary Hulk Hogan is a heartbeat away